good hands. You can always rely on this guy when the going gets tough.
Well, this week, Green Flags at the Breakdown comes from Rugby World Cup venue and home of the Exeter Chiefs, Sandy Park. And I'm here to talk to the Chiefs' hard-hitting skipper, Dean Mumm. So Dean, you're not a man who shirks a tackle, are you?
I play sort of high work rate games, so
Yeah.
I mean, doing your bit in defence is as good as any, I suppose.
You had a brilliant result last weekend against Newcastle, but it looks like you'll have a far different test against Quins this weekend.
In times go by, I mean, we've come through and we've played a really good game, had a great result. Next week we've lost. The reality is you move on. The competition doesn't care what happens last weekend. Quins don't care. We like playing Quins. I think we're both quite attacking teams in the way we go about it. They are versatile in the way they attack. They'll have so many things. They'll play off scrums and mauls, little plays around the corner, little trick plays, you know, with Danny Kerr and Evans at 10.
So let's talk about the Cups. The Cups have been good to you. Let's go back to last season when you won the LV.
It was pretty amazing. I mean, pretty lucky to do it at home, really. And yeah, Exeter hadn't won silverware for 900 years, really. You know, the club's still owned by stakeholders, basically by the fans, which is rare in sort of premiership times.
So an interesting one for you, Dean, in the second row, you got British Lion Jeff Parling coming in. Why do you think the Chiefs have signed him?
Well, why wouldn't you? Really?
Yeah.
British Lion on offer.
Good singer as well. You're good
Is
at
he a
guitar.
good singer?
Yeah, apparently, yeah.
Oh,
well, piano I think he plays, which is add an element to the social side.
It could well do. As long as I've been here, we've always had injuries. We've always been a little bit lean in the second row, so it'd be nice to have some depth. It's always great when they sign someone an international in your position, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great news. Isn't it? Yeah. As a skipper of the club, are you screaming and shouting and bawling and giving yourself uppercuts before the game, or are you pretty relaxed, bit of detail?
I'm not the most relaxed of people. I think probably a little bit more stick than carrot. If something needs to be said, I think you just say it. Pretty upright. It's not always a great place for feelings in rugby. There are a few people, particularly people newer to the club, but you have to be a little bit more sensitive to the way you approach certain situations until they sort of get to know the way everything operates. It can be a reasonably savage dressing room in terms of people wearing horrible kit. Things like that doesn't float.
I understand that you didn't even have a recce here before you came. So how does life, sort of more importantly, how does training differ from being a pro rugby player in Sydney to Exeter?
Yeah, well, I mean, initially when you rock up at Exeter St David's train station, I mean, you get a different, it's not Sydney Harbour. You establish that reasonably quickly. The greatest difference, obviously, the weather. When you have in the middle of winter and you've got those cold training sessions, that's when you sort of think, well, what am I doing here? But I mean, it's a great place to play, and I wouldn't change it.
Right, thanks for chatting.
No,
Good luck
pleasure.
the rest of the season.
Thanks, Flats.